Do not go to Prokletije by daylight. Spelled by the cloud, you could be converted into shadow that makes love to the blade of grass on the hills of Plav's mountains. Or you could be changed into a drop that flows throughout the streams of Grlja toward the abysm of remarkable canyons. Don't go if you have no eyes to see that everything is huge in the mountains, and that the man is small, just as it belongs to him. Remarkable is the beauty of Prokletije, that almost tangible silence in which sink drenched fingers of its carnation, walls of its steeps which seem to be rising from the ground, veil of murky clouds, bride's veils. Everything seems like a fairy tale here, and everything's poetry. And that old shepherd and his golden fleece Ares, which even Jason was looking for, and Argonaut. Heroic deeds they repeated. We met the old man on the hill above the Hrid's lake, where you can reach by the path of stones lined up, all by themselves, just enough to welcome a passerby and lead him to the lake, covered with pines and legends. Silence, infinite, refreshing. Broken trees grown in pearls mirrors, where pines and blue sky reflections live for centuries. It is said that here satyrs are bathing before the wedding, just before the ceremony by the stone table. If it happens that fairy bridesmaid led the tear of joy, the table would break and the flower would reel. Lonely are the mountains of Plav, threaded one to another as past centuries. Sparse herd passes under shades, as memories to those old times when Venetians' careers were passing along from Constantinople toward Kotor, and old long caravans, 200 horses carrying the wool, wheat and cheese. 19 days by walk to Constantinople. Still stands the Ređepagić Tower. It is dignified in its effort to keep, for more than 5 centuries, the memory of nobles, merchants, travelers, and passers. That has guarded under its fortified roof from Bunjan's people and other dangers that were shaking this marvelous region on restless border. Indeed, Plav is not mentioned in written sources as a settlement, but as a name for the whole region. It is also said that it owes its name to the Roman Emperor Flavius. It could be true, as it is true that here everything's blue. The water in Plav's lake, and the sky above it, and the bird in the cloud. There is no herd on Čakor, silent in mountain without them as its souls moved out. Fallen spruces and pines on its slopes. Instead of wild horses, the clouds are dancing in the sky. Cold stones, cold snows expect. It is wild and unreal in the mountains. That bluish tenderness of pines, that tattle on a meadow like a forgotten medallion, and that view whereof the feeling of freedom grows as there is no body, even the grass under feet. Whoever finds himself on Čakor in that fairy clock is becoming silent, and mountains speak to the distances, will be and is the wind, roar in the cloud and noises in mountain branches. And under the mountains, along the lake, Plav moved up, a small town of red roofs, just like a place from a picture book. In it, there is Sultana, the mosque which was being turned by time into a police barrack, into a school. But it was coming back again, every time more beautiful and more glamorous. Just to confirm, the sky is above us, and the one who reigns it is above all and over all. The Greeks were here a long time ago, the Romans were here too, and the parish belonged to Duklja. People passed like everything passes in life, the perennial fountain on time like an eye of skakavica. Here, from the bosom of the ground, this beauty rises again, this testimony of a secret which can be understood just by the one who knows its murmuring is wiser than everything has ever flattered from people's lips. Wisdom or providence inbred the trustee of the Vizier Mosque in Gusinje. So, in the 16th century, he had a temple built whose engravings on mimbar testify to love and respect with which this mansion was built. The name Vizier Mosque itself doesn't mention that this part of the world had agas, begs, pashas and viziers. Ali Pasha Springs, those pearly fountains from the bosom of Prokletije, as just they confirm with their murmuring the brightness and the strength both of the nature of this area and the people who populate it. Where the spring is, there the drops are. And just near the river Lim, in Brezovice, hidden from man's eye and man's look, pleasant for prayers and conventual devotions, the Holy Trinity Church in Konst itself. From the 16th century, always knocked down or burnt down, it was being built again by itself, during a night, keeping its frescoes like people keep faith in their hearts. We are talking while Lim is keeping quiet. It toppled heavens in its water, put the boats to sleep in its lap, and that is how it walks guests and welcomes passers and strangers. Andrijevica, a small town on the left bank of the river Lim, like a small line withdrawn by a child's hand. Modest and quiet, it is muffled up in summer. Above it, Komovi have risen themselves, two giants of stone. Their faces are corrugated of snow, and just because of that, it can be concluded that the time pendulum defines their life. Alive are slopes of Komovi, alive snows leave to live winds, rock creeps as pledge. Pine, taken up to heavens, promised with a blue distance. And in Kralje, under Komovi, the Church of the Ascension of the Lord, in bright day with light and hope pulses. Iconostasis, Brother Gionski's work, as it is mounted in gold of eternal summer. Murmurs Augustin Andrijevica in the rapids of the Kozak River Kutskaya. Who knows what its reels dream about and to what its rapid hurry? Maybe they meet the mighty dawn at the end, somewhere upstairs in the clouds, amidst thunders or heavenly silences. In the town park stands a church of Archangel Mihailo, built by the King Nikola to the victory on Morač. Live saints on church paintings speak on the heavenly victory of the god over dark armies of the renegade. The monuments near the church, covered in impalpable dignity, makes us to remember the victims of Andrijevica. The park in Berane is the beautiful one. It mirrors the infinite human striving for bettering the space we live in. Everything is more relaxed in nature. If it took one day for a god to make the world, it took him at least a week to adorn Bjelasica. Brooks in Bjelasica carry flowers. It is covered in sun by day and covered in pearls by night. And birds adorn straws in the meadow, so the beauty doesn't become shy in the face of the visitor. There is no beauty which would not be shy in the eyes of Ursulovačko lake. Those who know that best swear the liquid in the lake is not water, but a tint which is used by the Creator to paint the sky above the mountain. Unusual are God's ways. Who can discern His attention? Who can explain the miracles of Samograd? As if 3 giant obelisks or 3 meteors were sent from the heaven intentionally to visit the Saint Trinity. And there's no better place than that, under the stone, to put the Church of Saint Panteleimon, an edifice made of pine wood as it transferred from Russian picture book. Compasses do not help in the north of Montenegro. It is not easily discerned whether Samograd, in the valley of Lim River, is closer to heavens or Bjelasica looming over it. Judging by the graces of Bjelasica, a thought that it could be a heavenly porch is not far away from the truth. Biblical seems a herd found on a snowy slope while the summer is. Shepherd dog and golden fleece sheep seem like made from a light. Because of that, people could think it was not a herd but a soul of passing time, a testifier of beauty and wealth, which can easily dominate again. Remembers the Šiško lake countless woolen sheep gathering around its beach. Today, only small hills are above it, as they are waiting